Hello and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be doing a stock analysis on WeRide. Now if you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and of course remember this isn't financial advice, this is purely for entertainment and educational purposes. Now if you don't know what WeRide is, it is a Chinese company. However, it is trading on the Nasdaq, the American Stock Exchange, and they make autonomous robot taxis. Now I think the company is quite interesting, but however I really do not like WeRide. I just don't think the case is there quite yet. And why don't I think that? Well, that's because simply we have too many normal people driving and needing jobs, so I don't think that people are going to want to buy this, and I don't think the technology behind WeRide is quite there yet. So say if you've ever been in an airport, you know you need to get from your gate to your plane, and then you take a bus, and that is always driven by a person. Well, then WeRide would make small buses or small robot taxis, which would then drive you to your plane. They also make some which are planned on being used in the city, and they have partnered with Uber and other companies, but I just don't quite see the case yet, as we see other companies that also make great autonomous driving, and they don't really have that great data. Personally, I do think they are going to be outcompeted by companies like Tesla on autonomous driving, as well as BYD and Xiaomi, two other Chinese companies, which are electric car makers, and I just think given they have more cars on the road, they're going to get better data, and therefore I don't think WeRide is a great investing case. Now, we do see them up 30% for the day. I haven't been able to figure out why that is yet. I haven't really seen any reason for that. Maybe there is great insider trading. Maybe the CEOs is buying up. Who knows? Now, if we take a look at the stock for a minute here, as you can see, it has only been publicly noted ever since, what is that, the 25th of October last year. So it is quite new stock. It haven't even been on the market for a year yet. As you can see, it was quite volatile. It did sink quite a bit in the start, which is unusual for an IPO, to be honest. And then we did see a sharp increase in price where it jumped, what was that, about $7, so about 50% for the day, and then it was quite a downhill battle until we hit the start of this year where it jumped incredibly high after the partnership with Uber was announced, which also brought quite a lot more volume to the stock. As you can see down here, these candles down here shows how much volume there is being traded, and as you can see, before that it really was not great. We did see a bit on the opening days, but after people really learned who they were, it really skyrocketed, and you can also see that for the day, the volume being traded today is huge in these early days. Now, as you can see, their earnings, they are quite funky, and that's because they haven't been on the stock for that long. Now, the dividends, of course, they don't pay out any actual dividends because they don't make any actual money. Another reason I don't like the company is because they don't increase their revenue. I know, of course, it might be difficult to increase revenue when they have such a new experimental product as a self-driving car and bus for niche areas, but their revenue has been falling for 2 years straight now, which I really don't like, and it is by relatively much the first year, than only 6 million last year, but their income is getting even lower. So they're spending more money and they're making less money. So it is really a double negative effect, which I really hate to see. As you can see, the net margin for 2023 was minus 493%, but last year it was minus 698%. And as you can see, it is simply increasing and increasing and increasing. So unless, of course, this year they come out with something new and huge and breaking, I really don't see why this stock has any merit to it, and I really don't think anyone should buy it. Now, as you can see here, last year it was down by 14%, but we can't really go off the seasonals on this one because, well, it hasn't even been publicly traded for an entire year, as I said. So we're gonna skip this. Now, if we go look at the technicals, we can see that it is a neutral for the day, and for the month, we don't even have any data. Well, for the alright, then we can make one for the week, and let's look at that. Well, it's still neutral. Well, the oscillators say it's a buy, but the moving averages say it is a strong sell. So let's look at over the past week or so, which would be from here. Now, it would make sense why it is still a neutral, and that is because even though we did see it increase, we still see large red candles, which means that even though the stock is going upwards, we see just as much pressure going downwards, which of course isn't great. Also, the fact that we are still not above, as you can see here, the blue line has only just today went above the yellow line, which is the 10-day moving average, moving above the 200-day moving average, and that should be a bit earlier if you want it to be better. And then the 50-day moving average, the green line here, is still hasn't, and there's quite far to go. And once that happens, we will see a golden cross like this one over here. A golden cross is when the short-term momentum is better than the long-term momentum, and that is always counted on the 50-day, never the 10-day, because the 10-day is way too volatile. As you can see, the 10-day follows the candlesticks very sharply, and the green one and yellow one doesn't. Now, analyst rating on this, we have 1, which I really hate, which means that we don't really take this into consideration because we have 1 which is way too positive, if you ask me. Up by 155% is the estimated average. So it's the lowest, the minimum, and the average, which is just insane. If we had 10 and they were all strong buys, maybe I think there would be more to it, but we have 1 which really we can't take into consideration because then we only have 1 person's perspective on it. But they do, however, have 3,000 employees, so of course it is a big company. They would need to be to make these taxis, which look quite cool. But however, currently I don't think the case for WeRide is there at all. Now, if you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe. And of course, if you want me to make an analysis on any other companies, please leave them in the comment section below.